Hello, friends. It's Scott over at Rocket 9 Solutions. This is part two of a two-part series. The last one was walking through kind of what does it look like to lead AI enablement, a little bit about doing that as a leader and how you need to move through these three levels of growth, ways you can do that culturally or towards business goals. And the big one is kind of this dire warning around winter is coming and why. But we give very practical tips on that. So if you didn't see that one, take a look at that. This one I'm going to try to be perkier, happier, because I think this is just like straightforward. Let's do something really quick and walk you through it. So I'm basing this on the partnership we have with SmarterX and some of the work that they've done, also the work I've done on just leading change in organizations and some core material that we've seen be very valuable for companies trying to pull in new ways of working. So let me just walk you through briefly what this is, what we're seeing out there as we work with companies and as we go through the training for AI. That's I think is important. So number one, at the very top here, so you create an AI governance council. Absolutely, number one. Problem is people just stay there. That's it. We have a governance council. Let's be safe. Don't do this. Don't do that. You can only use Microsoft Copilot. All that. Now, that's important and good. And we should be safe. But if you only stay there, we're not going to get any business results. It's going to be problematic. So do that. Figure out number two, your principles and policies. We've got to make that really clear. Got to make sure everyone knows that and preferably know the why behind that. And then, yes, your initial user licenses, trial users. I'm looking for people in general who are already like in it, excited about it. Sometimes people say start with the willing. I wrap all this a bit on is there like this idea of the vision, be thinking about at the same time. You don't necessarily announce it yet, but we're putting our feet in the water and seeing what this looks like, getting feedback back from these folks, and then trying to move forward from there. So this is pilot. There's more to it than that, but this is a very simple slice of that. Now we get into the phase two scaling. And this is where the reason I'm saying this is simple when I move to the phase two is lots of people are in pilot phase, but what we're calling is a pilot purgatory. We don't move out from it. We just stay in this place of don't do all these things. We're using Microsoft Copilot. Everyone do something with AI. And that's it. So that's problematic. So let's move on to phase two. Train the leaders in management. It's going to help you lead this change, whether you're a frontline leader, supervisor, or mid-management or senior leadership. It's going to help you lead this by doing something with it, understanding the power of it, a little bit of how it works. It doesn't have to be overly complex, but the problem is we see senior leadership doesn't understand what it really can do in the big picture because they don't use it themselves at all. And so they can be a little disconnected, like, I don't know, magic's supposed to happen kind of a sense. So train them on it, but certainly those leaders who are working with individual contributors and teams, we want them to have that knowledgeability. They're going to be more confident. They're going to step forward with that. They'll speak intelligently about it, right? Because I'm not sure if I'm right, I'll probably just hold back. The last video, we talked about this expert leadership. That's most of the leaders out there. They're in those positions because they do know the most. Well, AI's come in and there's no way they know the most about that. It's brand new and it's growing a ridiculous amount. So if my value is I have all the answers, this is a tough spot for me to be in to step out in. I don't know how to step forward and lead because I lead by being an expert and knowing all this and having answers now. So I'm going to sit kind of idly by. I've literally known leaders and even senior leaders like, AI doesn't apply for us, but that's kind of a safe position to sit from because I don't have answers on what we could be doing with it because I don't know. All right. So train them, invest in that. Or if you're on your own, your company's not doing it. This is one of the situations I'm not normally like this because I'm big on work-life balance. I just say like, make it a hobby on the weekends. Do something fun. Take your favorite thing that you like to do, gardening, hiking, pickleball, whatever that is, and start throwing things out to it. Having fun with my son doing, let's make old 80s arcade games, the ski jump game. Let's make a quiz to help you study. So there's lots of things you could just try out, but just put your hands on it, even on yourself. There's lots of very simple training for each of those tools as well. That's usually free. So I wouldn't go out and necessarily buy training outside of what I'm going to reference here, because what I've seen is by and large not great outside of SmarterX, Google, Claude, but some of those are just going to be free anyway. So take a look at that for the training. Create your ROI council. Step 5 is the biggest gap I see is we don't create a group that's your acceleration group, your group that moves us forward, your group that's talking to people in those different departments, cross-cutting, looking for ideas, looking for ways we can get real results from AI. In the end, if you're not getting that support from senior leadership, the best thing I've seen to get that is show real results, right, in your area, in your department. And it pays massive dividends when they're like, well, what are you doing? How'd you get that? Well, we tried AI and here's what we found from that. But that's got to be a cross-cutting group looking for opportunities and looking for the feedback loops, talking with people, how'd that go? Try this. Did you get, training? How was that training? Are you guys doing, learning hours? Are you doing mobbing sessions, pairing sessions, right? Find what works for your groups and then circulating that. Where your governance council is, making sure we're safe and clear, but they're not necessarily doing that kind of a feedback loop with the people in the trenches doing the work. It's the business work of this. So there's your ROI council. Build a roadmap. I mean, at this point, you can just use AI to build a roadmap because the roadmap won't matter because things are changing so fast, but you do need a roadmap that points to the future. People, here's where we're going. When I mentioned vision earlier, sit and think about what your company is, why it matters. Take a look at Patrick Lencioni's The Advantage, step by step on how to make the vision. This is what we're about. This is why it matters that we exist. Here's our vision. This is what we aspire to be like, and this is how AI can help us become that. And this is what we will never be. We won't ever turn to the dark side and use AI, whatever that is. But people need to hear that vision and clarity and aware where we're going. The roadmap also supports the ability to say, hey, those are great ideas, but not now, because here's what we're doing now. So it's not a no, it's a not now. And that's much easier to take. If you're wanting to contribute ideas from the field as an individual contributor from these different departments, I'd much rather hear not now, because there's a roadmap I can see and it makes sense, than just a no. Because well, here we go again. They say they want our ideas. They put out a suggestion box and no one ever even reads the suggestion. So draft a roadmap, tell them it's all subject to change. One company is really powerful to simply say, hey, you all have job security. You may not have role security. Things are changing around here, but they need to hear that big kind of overarching view of all this change happening, kind of wrap them up in that. Do your impact assessments. So what does that look like in terms of what these models can do? What's the power of these? How you can bring that into the teams. Very easy to look for those opportunities and also measure the results then of the effects of what we're doing for that. But lots of times we also don't do those assessments as well. The AI Academy is a simple way of saying, how do we train people up? So this is a tough one, right? I'm very supportive of HR and the L&D groups in these companies, but it is hard to stay up on top of the speed of AI. And it is very technical compared to other changes that have hit the corporate workspace. So I would outsource that. My recommendation, the one that I like the most, is the best, most comprehensive for that, is what SmarterX has put out. I've worked with a number of different other training platforms and other tools out there, but I would just say they're going to cover all the basics. You can always bring in coaches to work with the teams on applying what they've learned or tailoring unique aspects of that, or doing it more interactive workshop on top of that. But for the value, you get to cover all that, as well as a dashboard. Measure everything they're doing. Hey, are people really getting it? Hey, are you not getting the time to try? Are we not making sure people know this is a priority? Hey, everyone, take the time to do the training. Because I can see a dashboard, see no one's doing it, right? We gave them the licenses, no one's using it. That's what we see a lot with Copilot as well. So there's a bit on your AI Academy. Define the success metrics. Everyone wants to measure that against what winning looks like, and we want to be part of teams that win measurably. So clarify that. It's okay to update that. I love OKRs for this because that gives your teams the flexibility to roll up what we're doing towards your goals as well. And it's a very simple, lightweight weekly check. How's that going? The most productive and engaged I've ever been is when I'm working through my own OKRs and how those roll up. So take a look at that. Also, we have the Agile OKR training as well through the Scrum Alliance. Great feedback on that if you haven't done that before, but that's going to really put the guardrails on this is where we're going and this is what it looks like measurably to move forward with that. But define that. Number 10 is a use case model. I touch on that in the other video. You can simply say, for these given jobs and roles, here's how AI can be used. It gives you a great jump start. It's like putting jumper cables. What we're seeing over and over is when I simply tell people do something with AI, they don't know. And they might want to, but they don't know. There's no guidance and they're busy. They got work to do. And so the gears are slipping. They're just not able to get anything going. And you're not seeing any real results because of that, as we're seeing. You just kind of get stuck there. So use case model, super easy. You can also use a problem model, like what problems are we dealing with? What goals are we dealing with? And it'll give you guidance. So there's AI tools to help you with that. That's the problem-based model as well. And then that feedback loop, super easy. The folks who have been working in these Agile spaces, they already know the value of this. Feedback loops, not just, yes, I'm using AI, yes, I'm busy with AI. What have you done with it? Think demo. Show me what you've done. Hey, everyone, let's have a hackathon. Show us something there. Hey, real demonstrable value. Feedback loops. I tried to do this and I couldn't because I got stuck because of the AI tool this way, or we don't have enough tokens, or the license model doesn't fit for right. But I can't have it just be unclear, vague things. I need feedback loops on real deliveries, real effort and work towards very specific goals that we're trying to achieve. That's meaningful stuff. And the last one's also a really quick win on the COEX. It's also in the other video on leading change with AI, I believe is the title of it, where I walk through what is that template, how to use it in ChatGPT, or if you're a Google shop, or if you're using Anthropic's Claude. Really simple, easy to use. So I want to give this as a cheat sheet because I think a lot of companies don't know how to get going with this to start. It's easier than you think. If you want any conversations around this, just reach out to us. Happy to walk through more of that. Easy to set up and get on rails and then begin the feedback loop. But get yourself moving, get out of pilot purgatory, show real results, because the gap between those who are moving forward with AI and those who aren't is just growing and growing, and there may be a space like we just don't catch up. So I don't want you stuck there. I hope that's of some help. Good luck on your journey, and let us know what you think.